Okay, Edo State. Edo State is like about 3 times
Okay. What did you do?
in Edo State before I come to Lagos.
What did you do in Edo State?
The 3 times, first, second time, second.
It's kidnapping.
Who and who?
For 7 years, suspected daredevil kidnapper Chukwudemeje George Ohamadike, aka Evans, escaped police dragnet. His escape during these daring kidnap runs had conferred on him supernatural invisibility of some sort. His reign, however, came to an end on a Saturday after a police special squad led by Abakari, an assistant commissioner of police, arrested him on his number 3 Fred Shoboyede Street, Magodo, Lagos home after a fierce gun battle which lasted several hours. An abduction carried out by his gang on February 14th had paved way for his demystification. On that day, which coincidentally was celebrated all over the world as St. Valentine's Day, otherwise known as Lover's Day, a pharmacist and owner of Maidon Pharmaceutical Company, Ilupeju, Lagos, Mr. Donatus Duno, was abducted by Evans' gang. Duno had barely left his office in the evening when he was blocked by a vehicle. Before he knew it, Evans' gun-wielding men had stepped out of the vehicles and bundled the pharmacist into their vehicle and sped off to number 21, Prophet Asaye Close, New Igando, a Lagos suburb where he was kept for 3 months. Evans subsequently demanded the payment of a ransom of 1 million euros as ransom, despite efforts to make Evans see reason and reduce the money. He would have none of it. Even after a sum of 100 million naira had been paid to him, it was either the money was paid or Duno paid with his life. While looking for his money, Duno's wife, who is a co-director of the company, staff members organized prayers for the safety and returns of their boss. One of the workers said, "We did not only pray but engaged in fasting too. Who will not pray and fast? If his or our boss was in such condition, it was really traumatic for us." Unknown to Duno's wife and his workers, the person who gave the information leading to Duno's abduction was one of the staff members of the company, identified as Emeka, who was employed about 5 years ago. At the gang's den in New Igando, where Duno was kept, he had given up hope of possibility of regaining his freedom. But he had a big break in the early hours of Friday, May 12th. While his captors were deep in sleep, despite losing his way, Duno managed to wriggle out of the leg cuff he was held with. He was only wearing a pair of shorts and white singlet. A perimeter fence with broken bottles was to become a major obstacle to his escape, but the victim used his bare hand to maneuver the shattered bottles and climbed his way to freedom. It was learned that when he landed into an adjoining building, he was mistaken for a fleeing robber or a cultist. Security guards raised their alarm, which attracted neighbors to the scene, and it was Providence that saved him from being lynched by a mob. One of the security guards, who asked not to be named, said, "I just came to my duty post that day. Then I heard people shouting, 'Thief, thief, thief.' I came out and saw this fair complexioned man running towards me. I stopped him near the mini tanker." He pointed to a discreet stationary tanker. He was wearing only his boxers and with his white singlet placed on his shoulder. There was fear in his eyes and he looked sick and traumatized. His body was bloodstained and there were injuries on his leg, probably because he had been cuffed on his legs for a long time. Some people were unwilling to listen to him and they wanted to take him away. I said no. They should leave him here and instead call the elders of the community. I took him to the front of that 4 square church and told him to sit at the entrance of the church. I then asked how much the kidnappers were demanding from him and how much he had paid. And he said they were demanding 500 million naira and he had paid 100 million naira. I was shocked. We then took him to the Gondo police station. Later that afternoon, operatives of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad returned with him to the street. But he was so tired and sick, he did not come out of the vehicle. They broke into the compound, but the kidnappers had escaped. So many things were discovered in the compound, including guns, a white bus, and a white power bike. I had never seen any power bike on the street before then. Then, in that number 21 Prophet Asai close, where Duni was kept, is at the end of the close facing the entrance of the street. The compound has only a single bungalow. The compound is covered with white interlocking tiles. It's a study in irony. Carved on the gate is a sentence, Jesus is alive. There is a doorbell on the left side of the gate, observing the building closely. It is easy to see why the kidnappers settled for it. It is a single bungalow, so no noisy neighbor or neighbors to snoop into their business. It has a coconut tree at the back, but there were no high-rise buildings from there where anybody could monitor what they were doing. Asked about the activities in the compound, our source said their doctors, kept to themselves. The guy there, whenever I was driving from outside, the gate would have been opened before he got to the gate. In addition, loud music was always wafting from the bungalow. This always muffled every sound coming from there. This happened mostly in the daytime. In the night, of course, the generator set would take over, so we neighbors could never know what went on there. With the escape of Dunu, he was able to make useful statements to the police about his kidnap. The next day, May 13, SARS operatives in 4 patrol vans stormed Frankazi Street, Bucknor Estate, off Isheri, Oshun Road. It was the rented home of one of the workers of Maidon Pharmaceutical, identified as Emeka, a pharmacist. He is from Oguta, Imo State, and he is in his late 30s or early 40s. He had a wife and a child, according to the residents, who were rattled by the early morning raid. Emeka was weeks away from his house by the police. Since then, the residents said he has not returned. It was on this basis of this breakthrough that the Lagos Commissioner of Police, Fatai Woseun, 4 days after Emeka's arrest, on May 16, declared a certain faceless Evans wanted, and he said, "We are encouraging Nigerians to blow the whistle on this kidnapper. Whosoever blows the whistle will get 30 million naira rewards, as stated by the Inspector General of Police." Evans has been on the wanted list of police in Anambra, Edo, and Lagos State for years. The suspects arrested have given us available information, which the command is working on to ensure that he is apprehended by all means. Operatives of the Inspectorate General of Police anti-kidnapping team went into action, and with the aid of high-tech equipment, they were able to track key members of the kidnap syndicates, rounded them up, and then set the stage for the final arrest of Evans. This came last Saturday when Evans was demystified by the police. At the headquarters of Maidon Pharmaceutical Companies Limited at 15 Wilmer Street, Ilupeju, Lagos, the atmosphere was subdued. The workers discussed in low tone. There were several innuendos about a certain Emeka from Oguta. Both Mr. Donatus Dunu, the chairman of the company, and his wife, the managing director, were not on seat. However, one of the male workers said they had been warned not to discuss their boss's harrowing experience with pressmen, and it was only the boss or his wife that can speak on that matter. Pressed further, he described the boss' escape as miraculous. When shown the picture of the compound where Dunu was kept with the inscription, "Jesus is alive," he exclaimed, "Indeed, Jesus is alive."